That's it right there, T-Nip.
What's up, YouTubers? It's CrownSpectro here with another video for you guys, and today we're gonna be talking about the potential in a Star Wars fighting game. Alright, this is something I kind of just put a little thought into because, I was just kind of like thinking about games in general and thinking about a lot of different games. I do this pretty often. I think about different games and what game franchises or big popular series that would be made into games, would they be good games or not? And I start thinking about Star Wars. I thought about a lot of Star Wars games, like Star Wars Battlefront and things like that of sort. And Star Wars, kind of came, I thought, to mind that a fighting game was never really, thought of for Star Wars. Well, of course, you guys probably wondering, like, Crown Special, like, did you really just thought all these things all of a sudden? Like, no, I didn't think of these things all of a sudden. Honestly, this came from a various of thoughts I was thinking about other different games, but that's a long process to talk about. Anyways, let me keep this short. Anywho, that Star Wars, in other words, when I say I was talking about Star Wars, I was just talking about Star Wars and all the different games they made, Battlefront and stuff, and of course, recently, they dropped the Jedi Fallen Order Star Wars game, and I heard that was a great game, but I heard, that there were a Star Wars fighting game at some point. I never really was aware that Star Wars even ever made a fighting game at some point, so of course, you guys know. Google, of course, became my right hand man, and I looked up and saw there was indeed a Star Wars fighting game released on the PS1. It was called Star Wars: The Master of Terra something. I might have pronounced that wrong, but anyways, I was kind of intrigued by that. I was thinking like there was actually a Star Wars fighting game at some point. And then I start thinking about, as you guys are already looking at, Soul Calibur, the actual fighting system for Soul Calibur, which is why this little clip here is in here. And I start thinking like, at one point they did indeed put Star Wars characters inside Soul Calibur game. I forgot. I think it was like Soul Calibur what 6, Soul Calibur 5. I can't remember which one it was, but it was like, if you think about it, Soul Calibur, kind of did a good job with transitioning the Star Wars character. I think it was Darth Vader and Yoda that was in the game. I'm pretty sure I did another video about that, but anywho, you know that Star Wars could indeed make a great fighting game. Just think about all the characters that are in Star Wars. I'm not gonna sit here and say I know a lot about Star Wars because honestly, I'm pretty low on information when it comes down to Star Wars. Now, I've always been interested in pretty much Star Wars. I never hated the series. I just never really took the time to get into the series and franchise of Star Wars. I don't know the entire story. I know bits and parts of it, but I don't know every single details. I may even be missing some of the big parts about it. But I'm still pretty cool for Star Wars. I like Star Wars overall. But anyways, that Star Wars is like, the idea of them making a fighting game would be a great idea. I mean, think about it. If they make a fighting game where you can just choose any character you want in like a Soul Calibur type system, where, you can choose Darth Vader versus Luke Skywalker, or Darth Maul, or I might have just butchered that name, versus Yoda, like you guys are seeing right now, or you just saw. But just think about all the possibilities, all the different characters that you can just use in a fighting type battle, game for Star Wars. It's so many characters in the Star Wars series that it's kind of crazy. It's like there's a lot of characters in the Star Wars series, and trust me, the reason why I know this is because I kind of took the curiosity. I was kind of curious about how many characters were in the Star Wars series, and I didn't look at the exact number, but I said there was a lot of characters in Star Wars series. But that's plenty and plenty of characters to be put into a fighting game. I mean, to be honest, Star Wars, the series and franchise itself has more than enough characters to make a fighting game, for you. But what I don't understand is why they don't make a fighting game. Don't get me wrong; these little single player games like Jedi Fallen Order, they're great. They make great stories. They're really great. They really are. Battlefront's a pretty good game, series. But how about a fighting game? I think that would be a huge hit for Star Wars overall. I think that would be like a surprise, good thing for the Star Wars series and franchise in total. Because, I think more people will be interested in a Star Wars fighting game. And then, plus, make it online. People will go nuts for this game. You know, Apparently the Star Wars game, fighting game came out on the PS1 was really popular. A lot of people liked the game, But then, like, I don't know, like I say maybe like the last 3-4 years, and then it kind of started getting some like mixed reviews. Some people saying bad, but I'm still seeing more people saying that the game was good. A lot of people have said it was good. So I'm not gonna really have no opinion on the game because I never played the game. So honestly, I can't say. But I'm assuming that the game was a good game overall for what the time that when it came out. But who knows? You guys tell me what you think down in the comment section below about a Star Wars fighting game. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.